Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where we are finishing up our final road mesh here. We have here some very rough sketches of what's going to be happening here. So this guy can go ahead and come back this direction a ways, because we're not going to need him to go that far. Same with this guy. In fact, actually, no, he goes this direction. No. This guy. There we go. Okay. And then this here will do the same thing right about there. And this here, if I can select it, there we go. We'll do the same thing right about here. So this is what we're going for with the two-way intersection. And then with regard to, well, what if we've got one coming in this way and this way, which is the other option, or this way and this way? Well, I mean, you know, we can just rotate it. It's not a big deal. This will cover all edge cases, I think. So all we need to do now is just merge these together, right? And then make the actual meshes. Well, there's also potentially another thing that we might want to do, which is draw a line from here to here so that we can have the paint lines like we do here. And I still maybe want to darken up our paint lines a little bit. And also, I was looking at this. The roads are very, very shiny. Let's adjust our road here a little bit. Turn the smoothness. Metallic alpha? Nah, we'll go with albedo alpha. We could increase the metallic. Maybe metallic alpha. No, we'll stick with albedo alpha. But our smoothness can go ahead and turn... Well, actually, we could just turn specular highlights off if we wanted to. But that doesn't actually do anything because we're in deferred rendering. So, we could turn our smoothness way, way down. And I think for right now, that's a good solution. We can always darken the whole thing up if we need to, like so. Or we can go into our palette and adjust the colors individually. That's also an option if I choose to darken these up. So for right now, this is where we're at. And we're going to need vertices here and here. So let's go ahead and get those. I'm going to go ahead and do a loop cut right here. Pull this down and let's see here. Right about here will do. And a second loop cut. Right about here-ish. We'll zoom way in so that we can actually see what's going on. Okay, now we'll zoom further in now that we're closer. This is as far zoomed in as we can go. Okay, so now we do not need any vertices that are not those two groups. So these vertices can all go away, whereas these four will stay. Okay. So now we can go ahead and, well, flip this direction. Flip direction on that normal, flip direction on this normal as well, and this normal. Now that I think about it. There we go. And we'll just go ahead and create these curbs using F to make faces from selected vertices. And there we go. There is one. And now for the other, it's going to be the same exact thing. In fact, I'm just going to delete all of those, duplicate this with Shift D, and rotate it 180 degrees around the origin point. And there we have it. There's our curbs. So the other thing that we probably want to think about doing is having an edge loop down this direction somewhere. The question is where, and for right now I'm going to go ahead and delete this again because we'll need to duplicate that back on later. So this length is what? I'm having a hard time seeing that. 0.2609 is what that length is. So let's go ahead and grab this to be 0.2609, or as close as possible. 2605. That's about as close as we're going to get, looks like. I did adjust my mouse DPI to do that. So 0.2609 here as well. Hey, there we go. Bang on. Excellent. Now this guy didn't actually come along for the ride. That's okay. He doesn't need to. Oh, okay. None of these guys did, actually. That's really awkward. I'm going to go ahead and delete these then, because we definitely need them along for the ride. I'm going to recreate this curb, redo this edge loop, make sure all 4 of those vertices are selected, and then 0.2609 is what we're looking for. 0.2604 is probably close enough. Okay, so with those vertices there, strictly speaking, we don't need them to be there, but it's very handy for creating this face right here, which is going to be pretty necessary. But first, let's go ahead and duplicate this 180 degrees. So there we have it. There's our curbs. We've got our two-way intersection. If we need to have somebody coming on one of these edges and this way, we can always just rotate. So that's from this way and this way, right there, and then right there. So that's all edge cases for the two-way intersection. Now, as far as the actual faces for the road go, and realistically, we don't need our guide hex anymore, so we can delete that. I'm just going to create these here first, and these will be paint hexes, or not hexes, but paint faces. And then I'm just going to do something along the lines of this. There we go. And make that symmetrical. There. So that's our two-way intersection right there. Now we just need to do our UVs. So I'm going to go ahead and create our material here, call it palette. And we're going to load in our texture from our textures folder. There we go. And then we're going to need to create ourselves a second UV map. And I'm going to call this, again, UV map normals. And I'm just going to, as usual, cube projection that. And then back on our UV map here, I'm going to go into texture view so I can actually kind of see what's going on here. And let's grab all of our curbs, which there are more than usual right now. So let's grab these. Okay. And then go into our UV editor. This kind of doesn't matter. Just scale all of it on down. Stick it right into the curb color. And there we go. There's our curbs, except for these three textures, or textures, these three faces. I somehow missed those, apparently. So let's go ahead and scale them on down, and into the curb pixel they go. There's a bit of a seam there, but there won't be in Unity since we are not doing any interpolation in Unity. Okay. These ones here are going to be the asphalt Texas. Texas? Apparently we're making Texas now. I have no idea what's even going on. Faces is the word I'm looking for. And then these four will simply be the paint faces. So let's open up palette.ping and into the paint. It's kind of a little small. There we go. Okay, save that and import that on in. And we should have our road intersection two-way. Here it is. So it's, you know, not quite as extensive as the three-way hex. But it imported as palette, right? Not as road material? Yeah, that's road material right there. Excellent. So you can see there's still some seams and such, but it overall looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm reasonably happy with that. So there's our roads. I don't think we need any additional road tiles. So now, with that being the case, we can go ahead and delete all of these. And we are actually done-ish with Blender, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and... Okay, that's not going to want to work. Oh, whoa. Everything closed at once. Okay. I'm going to refire up Unity since that decided to close, well, I did click the X, but everything was going so laggy. Okay, we didn't lose anything because I compulsively save. And let's just take a quick look at the state of our road generation, and it's kind of horrible. So let's go into this town hex here, and ooh my. Yeah, that looks pretty awful indeed. So we can see here the general structure, and then that's a different structure, and then that's the same structure. And then we'll need to find out, well, where do we... What road do we actually instantiate, right? So we don't need to instantiate anything down here just yet, actually. We can get rid of this debug call. These instantiations are fine. We know for a fact that these are going to be roads, right? I mean, we do. But do we want to instantiate them yet? I mean, the road entries are kind of special cases. So maybe we do want to instantiate them right now. But for now, let's go ahead and just set these to be roads. And we'll set what road they're on, but that's it. Let's not instantiate roads right now. So as we go in, it's not going to create any road visuals. However, as far as the code is concerned, there are still roads there. So if we go into our sub-hexes here and check this, you can see this is a road and it's on road 0. So that's fine. And then we'll need to go through and determine what type of a road it needs to be. So realistically, I mean, we don't necessarily know what order it's in. That's going to be interesting, trying to figure all that out. So let's go ahead and delete these commented things here. We don't need to do that. So we are generating our roads here. And then once we are done with all of that, then we need to iterate through every single hex, or rather every single sub-hex, and then, yeah, that's exactly what we need to do. So for int I equals 0, I is less than subhexes dot count I++. So we need to iterate through every single hex here. And what do we need to do with them? Well, we need to determine what type of road to spawn, if it's a road. Or rather, well, we are in if generate roads. So we need to determine what type of road to spawn, if it's a road. And then we need to determine what angle to spawn it at. And then we need to determine the roads. So determine what type of prefab to spawn. And then we need to determine the angle the prefab needs to be at. And then finally, we need to determine, or not even determine, spawn the correct prefab at the correct angle. Okay. So there we go. That's what we need to do here. However, first things first, I think we need to actually set up our prefabs, because right now all we have is our building road prefab. So let's go ahead and pull that out here and see what exactly is going on with that. So this is currently right here, and as you can see, it did update all of those things, so it is currently using its correct material. It's using its correct material. I'm going to disable subhexes for now so that we can actually see what we're doing here. And then if we can get this zoomed properly, but apparently we can't. So I guess it is what it is. Okay, so the building road is encapsulated inside of an empty, and the road itself does not actually need an animator. I'm going to remove that and apply that to the prefab. That's unnecessary. Okay, so we then need ourselves a road corner sharp, a road intersection 2-way, a road intersection 3-way, and we don't actually need runway for now. Okay, so all of these need to be at a much lower scale. 0.01. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, 0.01. Okay. Now, what height do they need to be at? Well, that is actually set where? Here. So they need to be at a height of 0.0001. Okay. Except instead of Z, for these guys right now, it needs to be Y. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to move this guy over here. This guy over here. These are not rotated correctly right now, because they are made for pointy top hexes, and these are flat top hexes. So we'll have to rotate these 30 degrees, but that's expected. Okay, so let's go ahead and create ourselves an empty, and I'm going to place that right here. And this is going to be building road corner. We're going to put the road corner sharp, or not sharp, the road corner into it. And that's going to be positioned at 0, 0. And this is going to be, let's see, all of this should be at 0, 0, 0. I'm going to disable building road for right now. No, not static. I'm just going to disable it for right now. And then building road corner needs to be bumped up to a Z of 0.001, I believe. 0001? 0001. Okay. And rotation 000, scale 111. That is good. This scale here should be, the external scale here should be 111, and the road corner scale should be 0.01. There we go. And this rotation is currently -90, and we also need to tack on another 30-degree rotation. Okay. So this is what we have right now. And that is basically perfect for the corner. And then we can always rotate this 60 degrees to get it rotating to a different direction, based on what direction we need for the hexes. So let's go ahead and bring this down as a prefab to building road corner. And we now need to do the same thing with the other three. So game object, game object, game object. None of these should be parented to each other. No, none of these should be parented to each other. They should all be at a position of 0, 0, 0. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to toss in road corner sharp. Building road corner can go ahead and be disabled for right now. And I'm going to call this building road corner sharp. There we go. And this should be at a rotation of -90, 30, but otherwise at 0, 0, 0. And then this guy should be at a rotation of 0, position of 0, 0, 0.0001. There we go. Scale of 111, and then the scale should be applied externally, 0.01, 0.01, 0.01, right? What am I talking about? That was correct. Okay. There we go. That's perfect. We don't need to change that. I have no idea what I'm even doing anymore. Okay. This goes in as a prefab. And let's go ahead and disable that. Fantastic. And then the road intersection two-way is going to be next. So I'm going to call this building road intersection two-way. There we go. And inside of here, this will be at a rotation of 0. And realistically, we should probably do this consistently, actually, now that I think about it. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, and the building road corner sharp will be at -90, 30. Okay, so 0, 0, and then inside of here, -90, 30. Okay. So I am noticing that our height appears to have changed ever so slightly from doing that. 0.001? Oh, I know what the problem is. This needs to be in the Y now, instead of the Z. There we go. It's a local position, and by changing the rotation, we changed what axis we want to move on. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that, and apply this as well. There we go. And we can disable that. And now the same thing for building road. So 0, 0, apply that. And then internally, the road should be at -90, 30, and then instead of being offset on the z-axis, it should be offset on the y-axis. There we go. And that's just to make this be a little bit more consistent. Building road corner, absolutely the same thing. Go ahead and apply that, and internally, a -90-degree rotation with 30 degrees on the y-axis, and that on the y instead of the z. We'll go ahead and apply that. There we go. And we'll disable that. And next up, the road intersection two-way. Same thing here. -90, 30 degrees, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, and 0. Perfect. Okay, we'll go ahead and make that a prefab. And we can disable that. And finally, the road intersection three-way. So I'm going to go ahead and call this building road intersection three-way. Okay, and this is all at 0, 0, 0, so that's perfect. -90, 30. This should be at position 0, and otherwise that appears to be perfect. So we'll go ahead and make that as a prefab. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to delete all of those since we made them prefabs, and I'm going to turn the subhexes back on. And in the subhex manager, we are going to be needing ourselves some additional road prefabs. So overall, what all do we need? Well, we need public game object, road corner sharp. We need road intersection three-way, road intersection two-way. Okay, so that's the prefabs we need. And then subhexes will grab itself the prefabs. Well, it'll see the prefabs. We need to assign them. So this is, what is this? Road corner? Yep. Road corner sharp? Yep. Here's, and actually, I don't like the order here. I'm just gonna, my OCD is kicking in there. Two-way and then three-way, rather than the other way around. Besides, it's gonna alphabetically sort, so two-way and then three-way. Fantastic. Okay. So now we need to determine what type of prefab we want to spawn, now that we know that we need to spawn a prefab, right? So first things first, if road entries dot contains, so if the road entries has, let's see, we need to be doing this on subhexes dot count. Or actually just subhexes, what am I talking about? Subhexes I. So if road entries contains the hex, then we know for a fact that we need to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this. Actually, we need to do this. There we go. So, if the subhex that we're considering is one of the road entries, we know that we need to do this to spawn. So at this point, we should now see roads spawning, but they should only be the road entries that we see. Everything else, oh, argument is out of range. Let's see, subhex manager line 187, 187. Road entries I.transform.position. Oh, subhexes I.transform.position, probably. And as far as this rotation goes, this isn't strictly speaking correct, but Okay, so I know what the problem here is, but I don't know how I want to fix it. Does this... This is just a Boolean. Okay. Well, we'll just do subhexes for... No. We'll just do subhexes for right now. They're going to be angled incorrectly, but that's fine. So yeah, they're very much angled incorrectly, as you can see. But that's okay. We can always fix that later. And we probably should actually go about fixing that right now. So the Y rotation is what's being changed right now. Road prefab.transform.rotation.Euler angles. Oh, the problem is that the... Hang on. I want to know what happens if we comment this out. I don't think that'll change too much, but I just want to know what happens. Okay, yeah. They're just all facing this direction. That's fine. Anyway, we need to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode we will continue working on spawning our road types. See you all then.